I'm not sure that's why that is, to be honest with you. I'm really not sure that's why that is.
Just know this. I'm right, you're wrong. Move on.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? I've been doing that in my marriage for 14 years. I might as well do it here, too. Mike and Mike, Dave Miller's in our studio again, breaking down basketball from ESPN LA 710. Was an assistant coach on the pro level. So I think there was an interesting thing that happened yesterday with the commissioner. In his press conference, sort of a state of the state kind of an idea, he was basically making it clear that he doesn't foresee anything coming up in the new collective bargaining agreement that would prohibit superstars from coming together again. There was a time when he clearly didn't think all this banding together was a good idea. Now, with all the increased interest, he's clearly come around on that. And he's saying in the new collective bargaining agreement, don't expect franchise tags, don't expect anything like that that's going to keep these players from coming together. So do you think we will see more big threes in the near NBA future?
We should. This is America. It's a land of the free and it's democracy. I mean, look at me. I start out at 710 in Los Angeles. I'm with the big three right here. I mean, are you kidding me? My life is upgraded.
Are you counting Golikas too? I mean, how did we become the big three?
Well, including him, we're
now you're the third of the big three.
I'm just the third. I'm here to get you guys coffee and donuts, but I'm in the big three. I've made it.
He's always looking for the fat joke.
Well, I mean, I thought it was just sitting there, but go ahead. Please continue. I know you two bond together, because you're a bunch of thugs. But anyway, go ahead with your previous thought.
I just think why should anyone be hurt? If you're a lawyer and you're at a small firm and you're really good and you want to get to a big firm, you should have that opportunity. And you've deserved that opportunity. Guys don't want to play with stiffs and guys don't want to play with idiots either. It's not always about your skill. It's about coming together. LeBron got a lot of bad rap because of the decision. I'm not mad at him because he decided to leave. I was mad at him how he decided to leave with the people around him, not letting Dan Gilbert know. My old boss, Byron Scott, in the mix. They should have known, and he should have trusted them. I just didn't like all that celebration, the pep rallies. But listen, if you have a chance to go and better yourselves for you and your family, so be it.
That's exactly right. Mike and Mike were brought to you by Manta.com. Claim your free profile at Manta.com and get connected to millions of customers. Manta, we do small business. I have one more thought on that. I'd like to keep you here for just a minute. All right, Dave, stay here. I have another thought on that we'll get to. Tim Legler is on the way. And Magic Johnson with the key difference in this series. All that and more on the way. Mike and Mike in the morning.
ESPN Radio.
Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Timmy Legler live in 15 minutes on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. Hubie Brown, 9:30 Eastern Time. Dave Miller, who is our creation, is in our studio right now. We are Frankenstein, and he is the monster, as Dave Miller is now rapidly sweeping the nation as America's most colorful basketball analyst. All right, all kidding aside, we do a feature called Transformative Player. It's brought to you by P90X. If you want to get in the best shape of your life in time for summer, you can do it with P90X. Change your body, change your life. Visit ESPNradio.com/Mike right now for a special 90-day risk-free offer. The transformative player clearly is LeBron James. Here he is now 3 wins away from an NBA championship, and I think he really has transformed the league with the decision and the way this whole thing went down. Because this is now going to become the rule. These superstars are all going to look to come together, and David Stern has made it clear he's going to let it happen. So, Dave Miller, you point out for Mike and I the place that you can put 3 guys together who are going to challenge these 3 in the foreseeable future.
Well, I think it's just down the road. It's in Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks. I think a perfect fit would be Chris Paul, and you add him into the mix of Amari and Carmelo.
That's enough? You think those 3 guys have we watched them play defense? I mean, we were talking about how Miami is committing themselves to defense. The Knicks haven't committed themselves to defense for a 4-minute stretch the way these guys are.
Well, then you have to make a change with D'Antoni. And being a former coach, I don't look to have anybody fired. But listen, you have Amari Stoudemire. He's a freak. I used to call him Hellboy when I did a scouting report. And someone said to me one time, I think it was P.J. Brown, they said, why do you call him Hellboy? I said, because on the pick and roll, you better yell to your teammate under the rim, get the hell out of the way, because he's coming. He's one of the fiercest guys on the finish. You know, Carmelo, I'm not sold on him being the elite player that everyone says he is. He's an elite scorer, but he's one-dimensional. But he's got all the ingredients. I heard you say earlier, he can move his feet. He can have active hands. Those are all ingredients. You don't have to have a skill to play defense. You got to have a heart.
Yeah. You know, you talked about defense earlier, and a coach having to want a team to do that, and you have to have players that want to do it as well. I agree with you. Even if Paul goes there, I don't know if they win a title the way it's being coached right now. D'Antoni, he came on this show, you know, he was very defensive about
his lack of defensiveness.
Exactly, about his defense, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. How about the other big name, and he's a big guy everybody's talking about, can Dwight Howard go somewhere to make a difference, or stay in Orlando and get some help there and make a difference?
Well, you see, you bring up a great point. I'm old school. I want guys to come play with me. You know, I like being in this big three, but down the road, Greeny, with you on my resume, I want my own show in the morning.
Right.
I want to be the guy. And, you know, you'd think Dwight Howard would want to be that. You're in Orlando. There's no state tax. You've got Disneyland right there. You be the guy. Make people fear coming to your town. It's like that old Snoop Dogg or Nate Dogg, bow down when you come to my town. That's what I want to do.
Just dropping hip-hop references left and right.
But the only thing is, what if LeBron, I don't know how much it actually happened, how much he tried to get people to come to Cleveland. In Orlando, what if the other stars don't want to come there? I mean, then you feel like you have to make a move to go do something.
Then you have to go. But remember, there's a difference between Cleveland and Orlando.
Hold on, I'm from Cleveland. Easy.
Okay, I'll do a radio show in Cleveland.
No, but more to the point, no, he's right. People want to go to Florida because there's no state tax there. There are a lot of other attractive potential things about that. Here's the thing. Who's going down there with him? Chris Paul?
Maybe.
Would that do it?
Absolutely. And they're extremely – that's the one thing about this modern-day NBA. Like it or not, guys are very close with each other. It goes from playing on the world teams. It goes from working out. The same agents. If I'm Chris Paul – well, let me say this. Wherever Chris Paul goes, I coached him. He's going to win. He just needs some pieces. Remember, he resurrected Tyson Chandler when Tyson was dying in Chicago, and he's built upon it with Dallas.
Everybody says Dwight Howard can end up in L.A. with the Lakers. Can that happen?
It can happen, but I think that Orlando would want Bynum in exchange. That's the only way I think that happens. You trade center for center. But remember, Bynum's got to go and orchestrate that, because if not, then the Lakers cannot just trade and get him as a free agent with all the cap and space.
Mike in the morning. We've got Dave Miller in our studio, ESPN LA 710, former NBA assistant coach. All right, let's hear from Magic Johnson as we get back to last night's game. If you're just waking up, Miami with a win last night, a very impressive defensive performance. Neither team shot well. Miami, big run early in the third quarter, sort of turned things on, turned the tide back in their favor. LeBron knocks down a big three right at the end of the third quarter, and the defense really took it over from there. Magic Johnson, meanwhile, in the postgame, I thought made the point that makes me the most nervous, which is this is going to be trouble for Dallas all series long.
One thing that's different from any other series that Dallas has played in, the Miami Heat are a fast rotation team. They can double team Dirk and get back to their men. They haven't seen that in the Lakers series. They didn't see that in the Thunder series. All those guys were wide open when Dirk passed the ball to him.
So, Dave, can you explain how it is that Miami's defense is able to do what it does? Derrick Rose couldn't split double teams. They couldn't run pick and roll for that reason. And now Dallas, which has moved the ball about as well as any team we've ever seen, certainly in recent memory through this postseason, couldn't get open looks against them.
Because Miami shrinks the court. And what I mean by that, they guard in quadrants. And when somebody gets beat, there's somebody that's at, picture the free throw line. At each side of the free throw line, we call that the elbows. And then the blocks are the two low posts. And you guard your elbows and you guard your blocks. And on dribble penetration, the help is already moving. We call it proactive. Most defenses in the NBA are reactive. It's like, again, starting, I guess, in the infancy of that, defend your man before he has the ball. If Golik's man catches the ball and you're adjusting, you're beat because of the athleticism of these teams. And that's what you're seeing them do. They cover for each other maybe better than anybody else in this league, and they take pride in getting stops, consecutive stops.
But one thing you said that they can do, it takes me back to when I first moved to Connecticut, and lacrosse is huge out here in the East, and my boys picked up lacrosse. I knew nothing about it. So their coach, when I